morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's chat. I really want to dig in deep about building community, and not so much for you and your audience, but for you and your peers of creators. So there are a lot of places that we can go, that we can be part of, that helps us to connect with other creators. And being able to have these conversations with people that are on a similar journey, who understand the vernacular, who know the language that we're speaking when we're talking YouTube. Sometimes we can feel really alone in our own little bubbles. People get the idea of it sort of a bit, but unless they're actually walking this path, they don't realize exactly what goes into it and what kind of mental energy levels are required to walk on this path and to just make these decisions for this journey. So we've got the guys jumping in and throwing up all of the gifs. So I do have coffee. I've got the Supernatural mug today. I have my water as well. And just we've got the water. That's right. We've got the water. It is morning here. It's 9 a.m. Monday morning for me. I know for some of you it is Sunday evening. And it's starting to get cold here, which I am loving. Like, it's not cold. It's cool. It's chilly. And I'm loving the little morning chill in the air right now. Give it a month or two, I'll start complaining about how cold it is. I only get about 2 months a year where I'm like, yeah, this is the great weather. So let me know in the chat if you are a member of any creator communities, but a couple that I really wanted to call out today that I'm personally a member of, that I think are just top tier places for you to go to for information. Now, some of these are paid groups and some of these are free groups. Okay. So I have personally found that when you pay, you get it's a different caliber of creator. It's a different, like the person's mindset is different. It's like, okay, I've paid to be here. I'm going to work hard. I want to connect with people. Whereas when there's free groups, people sort of come in and come out and just sort of answer my question and then leave again. So they don't really go to the effort to become sort of conversational. When it comes to online groups. Now, I would also love to have a regular meetup of actual humans of creators, but that sort of thing doesn't really happen much around here. And I think Change Studios are about the only ones who actually set up any kind of in-person meetups, and they're very infrequent. And so having a group that you can go and sit down and chat with and have a coffee or a meal, and this is one of the reasons why I think events like Vid Summit do so well, is because it's just all creators, and like some of these creators have had zero contact with other human creators for the rest of the year. So there's just this energy and this buzz, and that's something I really love about the in-person meetups. Now, if you are in the USA at the moment, you have got access to some phenomenal looking creator meetups. YouTube are actually running the Creator Collective, which is they're traveling around to each of the states in the US, and they're having these great meetups. I just saw the photos and some videos out of the one they ran in Dallas, and oh my gosh, it looked amazing. It looked so energetic and just fun that I'm a bit jealous. Like, I'm going to be really honest. I'm a little bit jealous that we don't get anything like that here. But at the same time, I'm still so glad it's existing for you guys. So that is so cool. I'm just going to jump in and say good morning to a few people. So Livestream Consultants is here. It's great to see you. Your first cab off the rank I saw. Thank you so much. Eileen Smith is here. It's so good to see you, Eileen. I know that the time zones aren't always awesome for you, so I really appreciate you making the effort. Doug says that this time of the year is wonderful. It really is. It really is. A Livestream Consultant says, can't be better than here with you and Doug and all the rest of the regulars. And this is one of the things, like I've started actually looking and I don't know if this is the right mindset, like, so please correct me if you think I've got it, but I kind of feel like this is kind of like one of my meetups, and it's not the same because I don't get to see you and I don't get to hear from you other than what you type, but I do love that you like send good messages and questions and give great advice, and the chat is two ways while this bit is one way. So, and this is one of the things that I love about in-person meetups. Eileen Smith says here, I'm a member of a few Amazon influencer communities. I can't read today, apparently. I'm a member of a few Amazon influencer communities, and one of them meets every Friday on a Zoom. That sounds fantastic. I used to have a regular group. We called it the Jedi Council, and it was a whole pile of yarn craft creators. And some of them were not on YouTube, but they were running small businesses. It was all yarn craft centric, and just having that thing in common where we would get together and just talk about different things. And sometimes we'd talk about nothing related to that. We were just chatting and becoming friends. And now we're this group of friends that, even though we don't meet up on Zoom anymore, because I meet with a different group on Zoom on Fridays, that it is sort of one of those things where I think it's going to be like a lifelong, or at least, you know, a long time journey with these people. Yeah, no water, no coffee yeti, but I have a water yeti. I've just realized that's just about empty. You know, when you go to pick something up and you're expecting it to be heavy and you just about throw it through the roof. Yeah, that. SMA Sky says, hi everybody, I'm taking you all with me while I walk the pup. We're about 30 to 45 minutes from sunset. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So I wanted to run through a couple. So there's a couple of paid groups that I think you should absolutely look into for yourself, which is the Primal Video Accelerator program, which is, I think it's about $50-ish US a month to be a member in there for your first year. And then after that, the price drops because they know that people are staying for the community. So rather than making it so, anyway, I think it's a wonderful thing to do where they drop it down. If you're paying an annual price, they drop the second year's annual price so that you can just stay and being part of the community. And I absolutely love that. So that's just, you know, there's Zoom catch-ups and things like that. So that's a really great community to be part of. The Can Do Creator community, which is a free one if you just want to join the Discord. But if you join Andrew Can's channel membership, in the Can Do Creator Discord, they actually have an extra section that is for those that are paid channel members. And there's great catch-ups and training and all sorts of amazing things that you really should go and check out. It's absolutely worth going in and having a look at that one as well. So that's another paid one. Daniel Batal has his channel memberships group, so the battalions. So you've got that group that's really active on Facebook as well. And that is a paid group again, but it's just channel membership pay. So it's like $5 a month or something US. It might be different than that. I can't remember. But again, a really great bunch of people chatting with each other, having great conversations. The Niminati, of course, like I can't forget the Niminati. That's a paid group as well. Again, through channel membership. So you've got the Discord, you've got the Facebook group. Both are a little on the quieter side while there's some changes happening. But if you go in and ask a question, it gets answered. So it is really, really fantastic to see that, you know, those people that join in every week over on the Nick Nimmons live streams, just because, you know, there's this cool group of people that are there every single week, and then there's all the people that float through just to come in and get their answer question, and it's still such a fun sort of environment to be in. Then we've got some free groups on Facebook. So you've got Nick's free page, which he's just starting to ramp up. So go and check out the Nick Nimmin. He's ramping up his Facebook page. Doug, what's the name of Brian's Facebook group? Is it Tube Ritual? I don't know. But Brian G. Johnson has a Facebook group that is so good, and lots of really great conversations over there. Daryl Eves has a free Facebook group as well for creators, helping creators. So while Daryl doesn't jump in so much himself, he's created a space for everyone to help each other, which I think that's actually an awesome way to do things. I know the Primal Video Accelerator does it a little bit as well. So there's a lot of individual conversations as well. So you've got some really, really great choices out there for these communities that you can join. But I would not, like, for me, myself, over the last few months, I've realized I haven't been able to jump on, a pile of the calls I used to jump on. Due to them changing times, and now I can't make it for the times for various commitments and things like that. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the lack of connection with creators. Poor Doug, just me messaging like, and like Justin, I'm like, hey, like a couple of friends that I'm messaging with, but I don't have like the calls anymore. And because of where we are, there's no real creator meetups that happen regularly. I mean, we could probably start one. That could be something to consider as well. Be the person who starts one. I know Nick has one that he goes to every now and again that meets about once a month in Chiang Mai in Thailand. And it's just a pile of creators who have decided they want some time with creators to have conversations with people. And these conversations don't have to be YouTube focused. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are just people who you have something in common with. And these are people you could become friends with who understand, it's like joining a game group, like where you go and play board games. You have one thing in common, but do you talk about the board game the entire time? Not in my experience. Craft groups are the same. I run a craft group, and we have the craft group, and yeah, sure, we talk craft, but do we talk craft all the time? No, we don't. And it's just like this way to create actual human connection again, because something that happens to a lot of creators is we do get stuck on this path and on this journey where we end up becoming, and obviously it's going to depend on your channel and the kind of content you're making. But we end up on this journey spending quite a lot of time by ourselves because we're busy, we're doing stuff, we're working, we're making videos, we're scripting, we're planning out the next quarter. We've got all these things that need to be done, but these things don't have to be done in a vacuum. You can make time to go and have a coffee with somebody. It doesn't have to be a full day event. It doesn't need to be a production. It can be a catch up. And if you do it regularly, then a catch-up then a little catch-up is quick and easy. Like, I'm just going to go and get some time away from my desk and go and have a coffee with somebody. And we talk YouTube. If we've got a YouTube question or something that's bugging us about YouTube, awesome. If not, you're having a coffee with somebody who actually understands the language that you speak. I'm going to jump back into the comments here. Aline said that the YouTube and live streamer communities are fantastic too. Yeah, they are. Maybe you should do a panel live stream once a month and have a couple of creators on live with you to chat about the streaming, or private panel stream for supporters of you. So one of the things that I was thinking about is, like, while yes, I could do it as content and bring people on and chat, I'm thinking more of the benefits for you as an individual to have those conversations off camera, where you can just chat about things in a relaxed environment where it's not content. Because something that's really important for us to remember in our whole lives is our whole world does not have to be YouTube. Unless you're like a daily vlogger and you need to be making content every single day to upload every single day, and every single thing that you need to be doing in your life needs to be contentable. That's not a word. You know what I mean? Then you do actually need time to step away. You do need time away from the camera and away from your desk and away from video calls. So if you can have something that's IRL, that's obviously in a safe way, but have something that's IRL that you can go and do. I think that is so important for us, or at least it's important for me. Like, let me know in the chat. Are you somebody who like, I'm an introvert, right? I'm an introvert who does not like leaving the house, who loves working from home, He loves having my space. Um, but at the same time, I'm still a human and require human connection. Do you know what I mean? Oh, hello. That made a big clicking noise. And so I'm just making, I'm like, did I actually put my phone on mute? It appears not. There we go. Let's try again. So, you know, having something that's outside of the internet is also very nice. Not to say that it's not good to have these other things, because for me right now, the only options I really have are Zoom calls or digital meetups or Facebook groups or Discord groups, things like that. Now, those are fantastic and you still get to chat with people. But I think something about being able to just go somewhere, sit down, have a coffee, chat with somebody. There's no cameras involved. There's no making sure your audio is working. There's no making sure you don't fling a drink into your roadcaster. You know, like it's just sitting there chatting with a human about stuff that you've got in common. I think it's one of those things that would be really, it'd be good for me. Let me know in the chat if it'd be something you'd do. Russell's asking how the moderator group is coming. I don't have a moderator group. I'm a bit nervous. I like the idea, but based on some of the comments that I get about how people feel about moderators, not sure if I want to make space for what could potentially be such a dumpster fire. Some people hate moderators. Like, believe it or not, there are people in the world that I have a comment on my channel calling myself and other moderators fascists because we hamper free speech. And you're just like, oh man, if your free speech is being hampered in a group, in a live stream, are you like, what kind of, like, I'm sort of sitting there thinking, what kind of comments are you making in these groups? So yeah, I don't know. SMA Sky said the Can Do Discord is fun. The Can Do Discord is awesome, and it is a fantastic group. If you are not a member over there, you totally should join. It is one of these places that is just, it's brimming with creators. It's absolutely brimming with creators. So you should go and check that out. And I think the other thing to remember is that if you join a group and you don't feel like it's as active as you would like a group to be, you know what could make that group more active? You in there asking questions, having conversations, asking people how their day was. It doesn't have to be a YouTube question. There are usually somewhere to speak and talk about general stuff. As long as you keep an eye on any topics that are taboo in a group and don't breach those rules, you can usually say, hey, how's it going? And have a conversation with people that's not necessarily, can you check out my channel? Can you tell me what to do better on my thumbnails? You know what I mean? Like, we've all got things we can improve on constantly. I think something that we need to improve on a little bit, or at least for me myself, is actually having conversations with humans. So yeah, it is Tube Ritual. Thank you, Doug. So that's Brian G. Johnson's Facebook group is Tube Ritual. Let me have a look here. We've got people jumping in. Real Men Rising, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Michael Sahovsky is here. So good to see you. Since starting a new channel away from YouTube and live streaming and now focusing on menhood advice, I sometimes feel like there is no community to connect with now in this last year. So this is the thing, right? Like, you don't need to join groups that are specific to your niche. Like, that is super useful for helping you research for your channel, do all those sorts of things. I'm not saying don't join groups for your niche. I'm in a bazillion. I love them. But sometimes you need a group for you as a human, as a creator. So, like one of the catch-ups that I used to go to every now and again, they don't exist anymore. They stopped running them. But it was basically people like that were just on YouTube. And you had people who were gamers, who were, vloggers, who were family vloggers, who were travel content creators. I was there for craft at that stage. My other channel didn't exist, and it didn't matter that we were not the same niche, because we're still under the same constraints and restrictions with YouTube. We still need to follow the same guidelines. We're still talking click-through rates, and we're still talking all the other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much more. And then there's just the fact that they understand that you might need to go home and edit a video, and there's no like, oh gosh, oh, the YouTube thing. They get it. They understand like the language that you speak. So it doesn't have to be about the niche of your channel. While that's a bonus, learning and hanging out and chilling with other creators can actually open your mind up to other things that could then go back and help you with your channel, whether it's, you know, something to do with a productivity tool that they're using that helps them, you know, manage their time better. So Livestream Consultant says, you mean there's something more than YouTube and flying? Yeah, I do. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Yeah, it's a bit of a rant. It is a little bit of a rant. So let's have a look here. Wielding that band hammer. Yep. Dropping the list there. Sarah Dawn, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. My buy me a coffee is not on screen. Oh, thank you. Where did I put it? There it is. Thank you. SMA Sky said that they have a power mod group. Pretty sure it's an official group. Only mods on Facebook groups are in it, asking if other groups have the same issues. And you know what? They probably do. Like I have a lot of interests, and I'm in a lot of varied Facebook groups, and they all have to deal with spammers pretending to be somebody trying to get the community to go over here and pay a little fee for a one-on-one call. Like, where have we heard that before? You know, so it's not even just Facebook that has to deal with this stuff. Sarah says that where she is, because you're in Canada, Sarah, is that right? A gorgeous 19 degrees C day here, and this evening today has been a lazy day after going to an event for a local yarn shop. For local yarn shop day, yep, that is a thing. Absolutely, it is. That is awesome. That's so fun. Let's have a look here. You make a lot of great points. Thanks for that perspective. Yeah, and it's not to say don't look for these other groups as well, but don't limit yourself, is what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, let me know in the chat. Do any of you have a regular Zoom catch up or a real life meetup of just people that you've met through YouTube, not necessarily through a pay group or through another group, but like nearly like your own little hand selected friend group that you are hanging out? Russell says community is okay if it offers folks who challenge you to grow. It's also fine if there are folks you can help. But when all of the folks are operating at levels way below you, what you hope to achieve, it's a waste of time. I don't know. I don't consider catching up with people on a similar journey, whether I've walked the path already or whether I haven't walked that part of the path. I don't consider that a waste of time. But we are all different, and we all do have different perspectives. So maybe it is a waste of your time. I don't know. Like, let me know in the chat. Does anybody else feel that catching up with creators where it's not about building your business is a waste of time? I'm trying to look at this from a perspective of, here is my YouTube business journey stuff here. Here is I'm a human person here. And there's like this Venn diagram of like this little subsection of me just being a person having some time with people with something in interest, like where we have an interest in common. I'm not looking at it as creating like a mentorship group or anything like that. I'm just talking about a coffee catch up or maybe dinner, and just meeting with people who are on a similar journey as you, who understand the same trials that you're having. So yeah, I'm not so much thinking of like Doug's just put in here. Russell might be suggesting more of a mastermind group or an accountability group. Yeah, I'm not really suggesting that sort of thing. I'm thinking more of it as a social thing, where you are meeting other people who just happen to have a similar interest. Um, and it may not be for you. And I might be the only one who thinks that this could be something that would be fun and good to do. So let me know if that's the case. So, but yeah, like if you're on a different business path and you're looking for like a mastermind group or an accountability group, and everybody who joins is sort of well behind where you're at, it's not to say they're not growing or anything like that, but you're already here and they're here. You probably wouldn't get anything out of that group, and you would maybe even feel like people were just constantly pumping you for information. And I could see how that would be not what you're looking for, but that's kind of not what I'm suggesting. They can talk business, absolutely, but I'm just saying, like, you know, when you've got your card night with your friends, you've got like this fun thing that you're all doing. You've got this subsection of your life that is connected, whether it's location or, you know, like you might have a street party or whatever. You've only got that one thing in connection, but you might find other things that you can chat about. I'm just thinking of this as a social outlet. That's all. I was like, and this is the thing, like I did mention a pile of YouTube specific groups, and I am talking about people who are on the same path and the same journey. And I can understand where the confusion is now. Thank you. But I'm talking about where you can sit down and have a coffee with these people, and while sure YouTube conversation will invariably come up, there'll be no one rolling their eyes going, oh, YouTube, because everybody understands. Do you know what I mean? Like whether the conversation ends up being helpful for you or helpful for somebody else. I'm just talking about more of a social thing with YouTube people together, which is why these groups are really good, because it is all YouTube people, but it's not really building that next step community of friendships. Do you know what I mean? That maybe not. Maybe I'm not being clear. I don't know. I just saw a message come through, but I have to go through. Sarah says, Canada, yeah, Canada, and there's a lot of creators in the general area. We're still weirdly dispersed. Yeah, look, I know that there's a lot of creators in the Brisbane area, and we're weirdly dispersed. Dust storms again here in New Mexico. Most of the main highways are shut down again due to low visibility. Oh my gosh. All right. SMA Sky says it may be a waste of time, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's part of mental health to help prevent burnout. Yeah, and look, you might be the kind of person that doesn't need that to stop the mental burnout. You know, it's that might be. We've all got different things, you know. We're different people, and we all have different things. The challenge I've had with a few groups is accessibility. The casual suggestion of how you want to go out to eat doesn't work so well as a disabled creator. Yeah, I can imagine that there would be limitations. Yep, so many venues still aren't accessible. Yeah, I mean, that could be a way to educate some people as well, if you wanted to go to it. So, yeah. Russell says, I spent all afternoon playing cards with neighbours, served coffee and homemade donuts. They sound amazing. That's my idea of social. Yeah. Okay. So you've got a social outlet of people that live in your community that you like to hang out with, and that is cool. So I'm looking at this from a similar perspective. So the community that I'm talking about is YouTube creator communities, where we can go and hang out and do something else together, coffee, dinner, whatever. While we may have YouTube conversations, you guys might have conversations about the location of where you live. But yeah, but different. Sarah says, I have, however, had the random encounter with a fellow YouTuber at my local coffee shop. which was really interesting. And this is what I'm saying, like, Sarah, like you would be the ideal person to put it out to some local, find your local YouTube groups, whether they're on Facebook or whether, and go, hey, do you want to meet up at this coffee shop? Because you know it's accessible. And just hang out and let people chat with each other. Doug says, I do believe there are seasons where you may need or want to focus in and talk strategy and grow your business. Absolutely. Absolutely there are. And I think that there are some fantastic groups and there's some people and there's time to sit down for that. I 100% agree that there are seasons for this. But I'm more generally talking about creating maybe this is an alien thing in the YouTuber area, because we have it in the Yarncraft area all the time, where we'll sit there crafting, and we may talk craft, but we will actually just have discussions about other things as well. Russell says, BBD is where I meet and communicate with folks that challenge me, even though we may have very different paths. Awesome. So BBD is business by design. I obviously can't say that fast. Business by design. And that's a James Wedmore group. That is a fantastic thing to go and check out. If you want to go and have a look at that, I've run through the courses as well. It is, it's just one of these, like, if it's more for people who have a business and who are looking at digital products. Not so much just a YouTube channel, but beyond. So, having a YouTube channel is a good place to start, but it takes you well beyond there. And it is one of those, like, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it, Russell? It's a little bit woo, but also it's really, it really empowers the people that are there and just really helps them to take the next step and then the next step and just keep going. Russell says, so basically you want to hang out with your YouTube friends and talk about things other than YouTube. We can talk about YouTube as well, but have other things to discuss as well, like be humans in the same room. So, I know full well that when people are at Vid Summit, they just about always talk YouTube because they've got this condensed amount of time for 1 year, for an entire year, where they get to catch up with everybody. And it's this condensed, like, imagine if you could do it, spread it out over time, the things you could learn about people, the things you could learn about, like a camera, you know what I mean? Like it could be YouTube created, it could be tech related, it could be, there's so many things you could learn just from hanging out with people. Blinking YouTube, is blinking the word you wanted to put there? Because I'm not sure, I don't know. It's a starting point. That's right. It's a starting point. Sarah says, I've hosted, been to a few craft things, but I don't have the contacts for creators. Talking. Yeah, I didn't think blinking was the right word. Yeah, and that's the thing. Talking YouTube is a starting point where we all have knowledge of one thing, but what can grow, what can happen from that? You may collaborate with somebody, you may learn something from, about YouTube, or learn something about a camera, learn something about a microphone, or a new way to set your desk up or something, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be like YouTube strategy all the time. But it could be. It could also be lots of YouTube strategy, especially at the start. You find, like with groups like this, it normally starts with this topic, and then people's conversations naturally and organically grow. So kind of like this Facebook, we're not even on Facebook, kind of like this YouTube discussion, right? We start talking about one thing, like think of previous live streams. We start talking about one thing and then organically grow into having a random conversation about random things. It's, I like conversations like that, and you may not, and that may be why you don't like this idea, like, or this idea doesn't resonate with you, because for me, I love to create connections with people and then talk beyond the one point. So yeah, I have no idea what platform I'm on. No idea. So obviously no idea. Sarah, you guys are having lots of chats with each other. Doug says a human connection can lead to future collaborations and business opportunities. And this is the thing, a real human connection or a real connection can do that. Whether they're in the same industry, in the same niche, it doesn't matter. But a real connection with somebody, if an opportunity arose, they go, oh, I know somebody who'd like that. I know someone who'd be interested in that. And that can naturally happen as well when you're friends with people. BBD is a doorway to levels of abundance most can't imagine. And if you can overcome your limiting self. Thank you. That is a great way to describe it. BBD is a doorway to levels of abundance most can't imagine if you can overcome your limiting self. And there's a lot of us who can't. I struggle. I quite often think about the things that I can't do. So yeah. And that's probably why that group didn't really work for me, because I was too busy like, no, I shouldn't be here. I'm not at the same level. I don't, and that was on me. That wasn't on the group. No one in the group ever made me feel that. That was all me. So, Livestream Consultant says, I definitely got a chance to, with you and Doug and Larry and a few others at Vid Summit. And that's the thing, like when we were at Vid Summit, like those of us like Doug, Larry, myself, Livestream Consultants and a couple of others, when we were sitting and eating and chatting, were we talking YouTube the whole time? Like, that's my question. Did you feel like our conversations were all about YouTube all of the time? So, I mean, being at Vid Summit, it's very easy to focus on YouTube because we're at Vid Summit. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And no, they weren't. No, they weren't. Because we've grown beyond that one topic point to discuss things about. We've grown beyond that in our friendships. So it's not just tap, hey, how do I improve my click-through rate? No. We are, as Home Rapid Repair, no, just be human, and humans have many, many interests. And this is because it's not a YouTube channel, we can discuss all our interests. We're not limited to our niche. We can discuss the things, we can find other things that we all sort of share together. So yeah. Russell says, we all struggle. BBD is a place where everyone shares in the struggle if you let them, and you can open up to change. Change can be frightening. Change can be terrifying. Yes, Russell, I agree. Sarah says, I want to try and make Vid Summit 1 year. I keep hearing awesome things, though it might have to wait a few years for me to go in person given everything going on. Yep, I get that. Absolutely. I absolutely get that. I have concerns. Like, I absolutely want to go to Vid Summit again. I'm actually not entirely sure if I will make it. I'm reading some very interesting things that are happening at customs and things like that, where people have got their visas, they've got everything sorted, they get to the border and they're turned away for what appears to be an unknown reason. They're just not allowed in. And so for me, I could get all that way and then still not make it. And so I definitely want to go though. I definitely want to go, and I definitely want to be there, but I just don't know. I'll have to wait and see what's going on closer to the time. See what's going on. Yeah, into the USA. Yeah, absolutely. There's all sorts of interesting things happening with people who are trying to enter the USA not on USA passports. That are struggling. I'm even seeing, I saw an article today about people who are struggling to renew their USA passports when they live outside of the USA. Like they go to their local, what are they called? Embassies, which is where they would historically, get their new passports, and they're being told to try again another time. except their passports are about to expire and they need to do it now. But yes, there's lots of stuff going on. It's all very interesting. Did you need a travel visa for the USA? No, I was able to apply for what's called a visa waiver, but I still had to get that. I still had to fill out a lot of paperwork to get the visa waiver. So I currently have a valid visa waiver to come into the US. I have a valid passport. I've done no evil. I try to be not too judgmental on social media, but I don't know. I would like to think that I would make it. I can't see why I wouldn't, but I also can't see why some of these other people aren't being allowed through. So, this conversation here in the chat that's about the benefits of city versus country, and I'm thinking I like being somewhere in the middle. I like to be able to drive a certain amount of time and be in the city and get access to all the services and all the stuff that I need. But I also like being able to drive that same distance and be like, oh, can you be any louder, birds? Seriously, can you guys hear those birds? They are going off. What was that, Abby? Abby says I'm louder than the birds. Okay, cool. And so I like to have both. Why can't I have both? I just want both. So let's hear. It sounds like you are moving from a narrow focus on YouTube success to looking for a broader connection with successful creators. But look, I'm looking for a broader connection with creators. They don't even have to be successful creators. I like talking with people that are on a similar path. I like talking to knitters who are just beginning and knitters that are well beyond me, because we both talk yarn. So I might be like, I thought that maybe other people would have a similar mindset, but I'm beginning to think that maybe not. Yeah, why not have both? Absolutely. Yeah, if you're not driving, it's lots of things are impractical. Yeah, I get that. Livestream Consult says, I only miss one thing from living in the greater LA area, and that is access to all the industry that was there. Otherwise, the small town life is better for your mental state. Yeah, look, my mum lives in a town of 500 people, and she absolutely loves it. She just thinks it's fantastic. And I don't know if I could live in a town that small, but she loves it, and it suits her down to the ground. And so, she's about a 2-hour drive or about an hour and a half drive to hospitals and things like that. So she's a fair way out. But she loves it. And this is the thing. She just where you live, it needs to suit you as an individual. Russell says, well, there's little doubt that you can be unique. Yeah. I'm an acquired taste. I get that. I do. I get that. Oh dear. Yeah. Doug says, as long as we have internet, maybe location is not as big a factor as we think. Look, I agree. I think, look, and coming from my perspective, this is where I'm thinking about I love that we can have Zoom catch-ups or Discord catch-ups or whichever of the two-way video conversational catch-ups. I love that we can have that and so easily for most of us, right? Maybe not all of us, but so easy for most of us. And I do love that. But I'm looking at this from the perspective of I work at this desk. I watch content from this desk. I craft at this desk. I cook in the kitchen that's over there. I sit in that living room. I sometimes go grocery shopping. And that is about it. Everything else I do in this room. And so for me, I'm looking for a way to exit the yard. like leave this space and go somewhere where there's other people. And which it feels so silly because I'm such an introvert, which is why I love this space, right? I've made it exactly how I want it. It is, I've got the comfy chair, I've got the great desk, I've got everything I need, right? But I think sometimes standing up, getting in the car, jumping on the train, whatever it is, and going where other people are. So because I work from here as well. So my day job is here too. So I don't have any of that. So yeah. Um let's have a look here. Nothing beats human interaction. Yep. Yep. I was actually like, Russell, like you talking about how you're building these villages, which cracked me up. Like what made me smile about that is I watched a video this morning and this younger person was talking about, these people whose dream it is to buy these homesteads and have all their family and friends live on the same homestead. They're creating villages. Their dream is a village. Their pipe dream is a village. And when you wrote that, like you're creating villages, like it just really resonated. It really made me think about that. Do a live stream from a local bistro and just put it out there. Oh no, a lot of our I've seen signs at some of my local coffee shops that are like they're laptop free. You're not allowed to have your computers in there. They want you to come in, drink your coffee and leave. They don't want you sitting there and using their space as an office. Also, I talk really loudly, which drives Abby up the wall all the time. I can imagine me trying to do a live stream from somewhere public like that would tick a few people off. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. When the apartment it gets too small and you just can go to a coffee shop or a library. Look, and I've done that. I've actually jumped in the car and I needed to get out of this space really badly a few months back. And I just rung up a friend and just went, hey, can I work out of your office today? And like, they're an hour and a half away. And they're like, yeah, no worries. So I jumped in the car and I went and sat, they had a spare desk in the corner of their office and I just sat there and worked and we had lunch together and it was fun. But yeah, I think maybe this is a me problem. I thought this might be something that more people had issues with, but maybe it is just a me problem. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just maybe not the first one, but the second one, smashing stuff. I saw that and I was like, man, I want to do that. That looks so much fun. Yeah, I do. Oh, I do. And I even buy headphones and things. Like, here, have these noise cancelling headphones. As Sarah says, all of our indie shops are happy to have you come in and work so long as you order something and are not obnoxious. Yeah, like I understand, like I look at this, like when you order stuff, if you intend on being there for a few hours, you need to order more than one coffee, right? Because you don't get that chair for $5, right? But if you just want to be there for an hour or so, you can order a coffee or a muffin or something. But if you plan on working there for a bit, you need to order a bit. All your local Starbucks have seating limits. Wow, yeah. Plus, my local makes an amazing London fog. I have no idea what a London fog is. See, we've already detoured. Gosh. Go to the beach and stream with that as your background. Yeah, I could do that. Sounds like you are looking for a bit more social and a bit less techie, so just do it. Yeah. Agree. Yeah. And I love and I think what's really hit home for me is because I was doing, I had PBA calls, I had calls with the Can Do Creator community, jumped on a few one-on-one calls, and I had all these things, and now all their times have changed and shifted, and now they've put them into times where I'm not available, And so I've got none of those things. And so I'm sort of like, maybe it is me. Sorry, guys. It's a total selfish stream. Oh, London Fog is steamed milk with Earl Grey tea and vanilla syrup. I'd drink that. I'd try that. I like Earl Grey tea. I would try that. But yeah. But the other thing that we could do, if anyone's interested, is we could set up a Zoom. Oh, you brought me the dog. Thank you. He'll stay at least for 5 minutes. Thanks, Abs. But yeah, it's one of those things where maybe we could, if you guys wanted to, we could start, like, I know some of you guys, we've chatted before, just chat. It doesn't have to be YouTube stuff. But isn't that what this stream tends to swing towards? Funny how the universe responds to need. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I just think you could get Doug and Justin down there and stream with all three of you. I suppose it would depend on which beach. Gosh. Sarah says, does this mean I should save up for a trip to Australia? I can bring my crafting and we could geek out together. Absolutely. Sarah, if you make it to Australia, I'm in Brisbane. You absolutely need to contact me. Like, absolutely you do. It's a big trip. It's a big trip. I could show you some yarn stores. So yeah, it's, I don't know. Would you, like with all the existing groups that are already out there, the PBAs, the Can-Do Creators, the Battalions, like Tube Ritual, all of these different groups, would a regular call where people just get to hang out, like and I'm not talking like hundreds of people, I'm talking a small group, not so much even a mastermind group, but just a small group, just at a regular time once a month. Would that be, I don't know, is it too much for some people? Some people are really active in all of these groups. And I keep an eye on all the groups. I may not comment on everything, but I keep an eye on all the groups. I don't know. Oh, thank you. I will keep that in mind as well, Sarah. Look, there are some people who happily take their craft to the sandy places. I am not one of those. I'm not one of those sandy place people. I like the beach where the beach is down here and there's a grass bit up here with less sand. I'm that person. If I've got my craft, right? I'll happily walk along the beach and kick in the water and play in the water and stuff like that. The craft will stay in the car. I don't like getting sand in my craft. Also, I don't like to eat on the beach. Same reason, don't like sand in my food. I would come to Australia just to meet you and Doug. Wow, that's that long trip. Because are you in New York, Michael? That's a long flight. So, you can learn those quicker from the group sometimes than you can from YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. Like, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Like, what do you do to keep connected with people that are creators? Like, where is it that you do? See, for me, it's not even the desire to grow, but we share something. Like, I don't know. I don't look at it as, I suppose this is, because you're right, that is a mastermind group, but I'm like looking at this that we have diverse interests and we have YouTube in common. So while we have diverse interests, we do have this one in common. I don't know. Maybe I do just need to create a mastermind group. I just always have this issue with it's a thing, right? I have an issue with mastermind groups. The word mastermind, right? I have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with the people. I have an issue with, I suppose it's what we used to call ours the Jedi Council. Technically, that is a mastermind. It was a mastermind group. But we just talked all sorts of stuff. Like, yeah, we talk YouTube as well, but we talked all, I don't know. Maybe Russell's right. Yeah, sand is hard to get out of yarn. It is. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sand is hard to get out of yarn. But yeah, it's, I don't know, maybe I've just got this issue with mastermind, and every time I see the word mastermind, I like bail. I'm like, yep, I'm out. Whereas when I'm like, oh, a catch up, sure, no problems. And they mean exactly the same thing. Now, if it's tea and crumpets and a chit chat about the latest ice cream flavor you saw, look, I could talk about those things as well. I do like crumpets. I do like tea. I talk about latest ice cream flavors. I'm pretty boring when it comes to ice cream. Not quite vanilla, but very boring. Oh, Sarah's like, yes, please. But yeah, I think maybe in my brain, it's just like a disconnect with the actual word mastermind. And maybe that's exactly what I want. Maybe that is exactly what I want but I don't want it to be like a accountability group or anything like that. But I do want it to be casual and relaxed. Yeah, I don't know. And I think that's why I think of it over, like, and that maybe could be why I'm like, oh, let's go out and have a coffee, because that's casual and relaxed. And I instantly equate casual and relaxed with going out and having a coffee, like a catch up over coffee. I don't know. Go tacos and a Diet Coke and I'm in. I mean, I'd go the tacos. Man, I tell you what I've been craving is those pulled beef or braised beef or whatever it was, those amazing tacos that we had at that restaurant in Dallas. Like, those things, I think I could, where there's like something like I could eat that every week. I could have one of those every week. Those tacos, I could have one of those every week for sure. Pulled brisket tacos, that's what they were. Oh, so good. So good. I'm like, to the point where I'm like, okay, how do I make that brisket? Like, I can make the tacos. How do I make the brisket? I've never made it. And based on what it looked like how they did theirs, it cooked overnight, over like open fires. So, yeah, I don't know. Because at breakfast they'd wheel it in from outside, all of the hot steaming. Yes, I could eat those every week. Like, put those on the menu for dinner every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Are there's Texas YouTube videos on that subject? Okay, good to know. Oh, see, look at this. Russell mentions ice cream, and now we've found like all these cool ice cream flavors. Have you read 3 Feet from Gold? I have not. I'm writing it down. Do you recommend I read it? If I haven't, 3 Feet from Gold. The pulled brisket tacos. Yeah, they were real good. Amazing yacht destinations. Good to see you. Real Man Rising says, I believe that the group you are speaking of could be something like creators helping one another overcome burnout. It could be. But I think, I don't know, I suppose I don't want to limit it to that. Like, that could absolutely be part of it. But I think I wanted to be, I don't know. I don't know what I want now. I thought I just wanted to go and meet up with creators at a coffee shop and have coffee and chat with people that were on the same, who understood the same language. But now I don't know. Yeah, see, Livestream Consultant says those tacos were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. I'm not a taco. You're a taco. Um, gosh. Um, you're making me miss barbecue. Sorry. Russell. Oh, okay. So it is recommended. The chapter on masterminds is perfect, but more importantly, the book itself might prod you down the path. Okay. All right. I've written it down. I'll go and find it after the stream. Let's see if I can get my hands on it somewhere. Definitely worth a read. So yeah, because it could just be that, yeah, I want a mastermind, but because the word mastermind conjures up other masterminds I've been in that I did not enjoy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You guys, we've already started talking about food. I suppose it's 10:01. It's time. It's time. Sarah says, luckily I've already had dinner or you'd be making me hungry. Yeah. Yeah. We've got a barbecue, but it's just, I think Australian barbecue is different. Like, I think it's like we just grill. It's just sausages and steaks. It's like, and it's just on a grill or with a grid thing. I don't know. Like, I don't think like Australian barbecue, like from what I had of the US, they're not the same. Like the US one was just amazing. Doug's back in time for barbecue. Okay, so it was one of the top 3 books I recommend for those that have hit usually a self-created roadblock. Okay. Would you mind sharing what your other 2 recommendations are? I'm sure that, lots of us like a good book about helping us overcome our own limitations. So 3 Feet from Gold is one. A big one that really hit me was The Obstacle is the Way. That was one that I read. That was a little, it was a little hard to swallow when you realize you're creating all the obstacles and you can work through them and they actually help you to grow and develop and be better. But that was a good one. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing what your others are as well, Russell, that'd be amazing. You can take a piece of brisket, season it, and slow bake it in your oven for a few hours. Because when I do pork belly, that takes a couple of hours. Oh, here we go. The Genius Zone. I might just screenshot. It might be faster. There we go. The Genius Zone from Gay Hendricks. I'll check that one out as well. Geology dude. I'm late as usual, and now you're talking about food, and I'm hungry. Sorry, geology dude. We are, and we're still interspersing our conversation. So for those of you jumping in, it seems that my idea of that I wanted for community is just a mastermind. And I actually wanted to get together in real life with humans at a coffee shop and meet up and just hang out. It doesn't have to be talking YouTube, but we could talk YouTube. But it was just, I wanted people that I could find in real life that, spoke the language as such. Didn't look at you, didn't roll their eyes when they heard YouTube, didn't consider, let me know in the chat, who here still considers YouTube new media? Because I don't consider YouTube new media, but every now and again I'll hear someone go, oh, new media like YouTube, and I'll be sort of sitting there like, it's 20 years old. It's the same age as my daughter. Like, that is not new. But maybe that's my perspective on it, Oh dear. Yeah, you got to remember to start these things early. Absolutely. Absolutely you do. Yeah, see, I think of it as just media. I don't think of it as new media. It's just media. Yeah. But see, like, and even this, maybe the podcast component, podcasts have been around just as long. Maybe start with Why from Simon Sinek. I have around 40 to 50 books in my library that various folks in BBD steered me into, but these 3 are a heck of a start if you have the courage. Oh, a screenshotting, Command-Shift-5. I like Simon Sinek. Don't jump, chat. There we go. I follow some of his YouTube stuff and his Instagram. No, LinkedIn. I find it doesn't really matter what friends start a conversation with, their heart will guide them for the rest of the conversation, depending on what they're dealing with at the time. Yeah. See, I think I'm the same. I think for me, I'm probably just looking for people. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. YouTube is old media, but I suppose the ways people use it now would be considered new. Yeah. YouTube is 20 years old and it's 100% entrenched as a top source of content and information. See, that's the thing, right? It is the top source of information and content. So why is it still considered new media? I've been using YouTube since 2007. I believe that's what my personal account says. Yeah. I've been using YouTube since like 2000 and around that same sort of time. Didn't start my channel till 2016 though. Yeah. Slow learner. No, what it was is I just didn't think I saw other people already doing what I was interested in, and I kind of just started. Someone needed to see something and it was just easy for me to send them a link to a video, and that's kind of how it started. I hadn't planned on starting a YouTube channel and it kind of just became a thing. Maybe because it's not considered legacy media, but then what's legacy media? Because that's the thing, like, what is legacy? Television's not legacy media. It's only been around since the, like, what, 60s, 50s, 60s? Like, legacy media would have to be newspaper, right? I would assume. Yeah, maybe Russell. Maybe it's my brain telling me I need to go outside more. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really because you talk to different people, and there's a lot of people who still consider YouTube new media, but it's just not new. So yeah, Home Rapid Repair says YouTube is not new. However, the influence some creators have is still growing at an enormous pace. So maybe that's why the creator economy is changing everything. Possibly. I've been reading some really interesting articles about how people are not so much building channels now. They're building businesses and media companies. And like they start out with a channel and then they get to a certain point where the only way for them to continue their growth is to go bigger. And so, you've got people like, like Rhett and Lenk over at Mythical Entertainment who are, who like own crazy amounts of space because they've got over 100 people working for them now. They've got multiple channels bringing out multiple pieces of content, and their stuff is still coming out every day. I saw Good Mythical Morning on Prime Video. I had no idea it was there. And so, it's one of these things where, I know Mr. Beast is over there doing Beast games. I haven't watched any of it, but I know it's there. But I'm seeing YouTube stuff on what was, like pay TV, like it's paid TV basically, like subscription services. So it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. But creators are next leveling into media companies rather than just merch. They've still got merch, like don't get me wrong, they're still doing their merch. Their merch is doing great, but they need to next level from merch. So it's really interesting. Real Men Rising great that you could join us. Thanks so much. I hope that we were able to help in some way. Sarah says, I was late to YouTube. I only came as a viewer when I had a university project that demanded we do a web video. That could have been 2014. Isn't that interesting? Where like 2014 was late to YouTube. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Livestream consultant says that legacy media is newspaper, radio, and TV. So I suppose, like, what is the definition of legacy? I suppose is where I'm at. See, I'm with Russell. Stone tablets and parchment scrolls. Absolutely. That's right. Telegrams and Morse code do not count. They're communication rather than media. Sarah says, I mean, I only started this channel because people kept asking me for stitch tutorials and I need to make more of them. I have so much raw footage. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for a second there, I thought there was an ant on my camera again. And I'm like, no, not another ant, but it's not. It's an emoji. It's an emoji. Oh, Amazon Prime Video now has like 30 YouTube videos over there. I know, a weird crossover. Yeah. And I don't even know what I was looking for. I was looking for something else. And next thing you know, I just saw Good Mythical Morning. And I've been a huge fan of Rhett and Link. Watching Good Mythical Morning was one of the things, was probably the big reason why I didn't feel like I was too old for YouTube. Because I'm like the same age as those guys. So I was just like, well, they're doing it. And they're not too old. So maybe I'm not too old. Because I honestly felt that maybe I'm too old for YouTube, 10 years ago. And it made me realize that no, I'm not. And I kept going. The live stream is now Kitty approved. That's awesome. Welcome, furry companions. Louie's gone. Louie was here. No, that's all right, Sarah. It just took me a little second. I'm a bit paranoid about the ants. I probably can't visit Chantelle for coffee. I see that coffee IV drip feed trailing from her arm. I'm sure she won't share it. We could, Geology Dude, are you in Queensland? Are you in Brisbane somewhere? Or are you a Sydney sider? Because I think you're Australian, right? And Russell, this is the thing. Now I know that, like, legit, not too old, right? But back then, the content that I was watching, all the creators were like talking about being old in their 30s, and I was already in my 40s, and I was just like, oh no, I think I was late 40s by then. I'm sorry, late 30s. I was late 30s. So yeah, it was like late 30s. I would have been late 30s because it was 2015, 2016 when I was thinking about doing it. So yeah. Oh, you're in Seattle. You're in the USA. Sorry, I don't know what made me think you were in Australia. Sorry about that. But yeah, so back then I thought, oh no, definitely too old for this. Now I'm like, no, I'm not too old for this. And I don't think Russell's too old for this, and I don't think someone who's 100 is too old for this. I'm like, if you can get in and you can do it, do it. That's how I feel about it. My wife watches Rhett and Link and Dude Dad and the Holiness Family. There's so many things. You need the extra long. Yeah, we've got to get that extension cord going. Apparently Google wants to bring its Google stuff to Australia, and it's going to bring it like across sea or something. I don't know. Maybe we could add the drip line to that. I don't know. Maybe you could have some Australian coffee regularly. It might be cold. You might need to warm it back up. More insecurity. You got to ditch that stuff. Oh, come on. I hung onto it like a warm hug. No, that was a while ago, but it was one of those things. Like I was watching, and I think it was because of the content I was watching. Everyone was younger, so yeah, good call, Ross, Doug. Good call. Just making sure there's no ants in there. And I'm extra paranoid about my drinks near my roadcaster today. So those of you that were there for Daryl's live stream on Saturday, poor Daryl sent a drink flying into his audio interface. I'm not sure if he's got a Rode or not, well, whatever it was, he doesn't have it anymore because it is toast. He fried it. And so now I'm like, okay, any cups with no lids are like over here, and this one's actually on a separate, like this doesn't doesn't touch the table. So yeah, it's like I'm just like keep a little eye, keeping a little eye. I mean, I usually have lids on everything anyway, but just to keep it hot. But yeah, extra fast pump. Undersea coffee tubes with the internet tubes. The possibilities. Gosh, got to get you a YouTube pillow. Yeah. I mean, I'd find space for one. Sarah says, I haven't damaged the electronics, but I have spilled tea on the knitting, which was terrifying. I spilled coffee on knitting it, and coffee stained it. It was a cream thing, ruined. I couldn't get the coffee out of it. So frustrating. But yeah, so it's like there's so many, like Russell's like, oh, I could list all of Chantelle's limiting thoughts. Yes, you could. I have lots of limiting thoughts. I really do. I am, and it's not even new. It's not new. It's I think it's ingrained into my personality. I'm that person who absolutely loves being behind the scenes, helping other people and lifting them up. I did it way back in the day from early teenager when I was doing sound and lighting for stage, rather than being on the stage, which I can carry a tune. I could have done the musical stuff. I could have enjoyed that too, but I preferred helping and highlighting other people. And because of that, that has been what I've done for a long time. And I like that. I like working for other people. I like helping them, knowing that what I'm doing is helping them reach their goals. I get frustrated when I don't know what the goal is. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't know what the goals are. But I love that. And there's some people that don't like. There was a Gary Vaynerchuk interview that he did where he was talking about how, because someone was like, oh, you've stepped down as CEO and somebody else is CEO and now you're 2IC. It's like, how is that? And he said that not everybody is designed to be the CEO, and that some people's strengths lead them in different paths, and there's other people who are better at being the CEO, and that's how I feel. I'm not the CEO. That's not my path. That's not what I want. That's not my goal. I like to be able to be part of the team growing the larger thing, helping with the bigger product than being the spotlight. And I know that's awkward because everyone's different. Everyone has their different goals and where they're comfortable within a business. And like I know I used the word comfortable just then, like step out of your comfort zone, but it's also my strength. It's also where I'm better utilized. I can have more impact that way. And or at least I feel like I can have more impact that way. And I have people around me who are like, no, you should be doing this thing and being the front runner of this thing, but it makes me nauseous. Whereas helping other people doesn't. Let me have a look here. I missed some chat here. I've missed some chat because I went off on a little tangent, as I do. Have a good day at work, Abs. Russell says, when I went to BBD Live, I was surrounded by 1,200 plus younger, better looking, mostly more successful folks. It would be easy to feel out of place, but instead I embraced their energy and it was wonderful. It's kind of how I feel at Vid Summit. Like I did get a little overwhelmed just with the sheer number of people, just because I'm very introverted. But I also, what I do is, especially when I go to things like that, I find a spot that's a bit quieter that I can just step back into, regroup, and then come back out again. Like if that makes any sense. Otherwise I get really overwhelmed. There was a VidCon in Melbourne a few years back where I tried really hard not to do that. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Stop doing that. That's so stupid. You're wasting time. I eventually, I pushed myself so far that a friend of mine was like, why are you crying? And I was just like, I'm not crying. And it turned out I was. I didn't realize it. Like, I wasn't like sobbing or anything, but I had tears coming out of my eyes. And I had to go into the bathroom and sort of pull myself back together. But even that moment away in the bathroom, which I try not to make it a bathroom, honestly. I try and make it somewhere where I can sit and have a cup of tea so it doesn't look like I'm escaping. That moment away helped me pull everything back together and go, you know, because I'm excited to be there. I'm not afraid to be there, but sometimes I just need that pull back a little bit. And I'm definitely not on board with these extroverts who think that the way to fix an introvert is by forcing them into these situations. It does not work at all. Like, it has been proven over and over again. You cannot make an introvert become an extrovert. You can't. You can create social introverts, which is what I am, but you can't make an introvert an extrovert. Yeah, that way around. So I just need that moment where I step back and regroup and then and I come back. Like, it's not like, okay, I'm done, I'm out. But yeah, it's if I try to push myself that bit too far, I get to a point where it's embarrassing because tears come out of my face. And I nearly got to that point towards the end of VidSummit. So VidSummit had finished. So the 3-day event of VidSummit had finished, and I had a thing I had to do the next day. And I had like a different work thing that I had to do the next day with creators. And I got very overwhelmed at one stage, and I had to step away. And then it was just like, okay, I didn't know if I was just exhausted and overtired or whatever, but I could feel that level of, like, now I know when, like, the tears are going to start, like when, like I consider it eye dripping because it's not like I'm crying as such, but it's like an emotional overload. And so it comes out of my tear ducts. And so, yeah, I was just like, no, I got to bail from this. And luckily for me, we were breaking for lunch. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I was able to bail and go and pull myself back together again. So, yeah. Russell says, read The 3 Feet from Gold and then we can chat further. Oh dear. This sounds like this book's going to be really confronting for me, Russell. Oops, hang on. Look, back here, it just jumped 3. Most will turn into a pill bug and curl up into a ball. That used to happen to me. I used to have to just go back to my hotel room and take like an hour, whereas now it's like 5 minutes. So, and maybe if I keep doing it, eventually it will be less and less and less, and I'll be able to regulate myself better by staying in the room. I don't know. I don't really get a lot of opportunity to practice that. It's the magic smoke. We use that term in the first robotics. Is the magic smoke when you blow up a machinery? Did I miss something? So yeah, I don't know. We need to get you on the stage helping others. I don't know about that. Yeah, Ear Biscuits is Rhett and Link's podcast. It's fantastic. It's so good. They did an interview many years ago in the before times. No. A long time ago, Hank Green created a creator guild, right? And it was doing really well. And then Hank Green does what Hank Green does, which is he needs to step aside to go and work on other things, right? Because he's got like 11 billion things going at any one time. Then when the new team took over, they were great, but it just didn't have the same momentum and it sort of fizzled out. But when Hank was there, he did these regular interviews with these I would consider top tier creators, at least at the time, right? So there was no Mr. Beast back then. That's me by the before times. And Rhett and Link did one, and their talk was phenomenal. They were so open about things and about how they got their start. And and you know, like, we have to consider how people start their YouTube journey sometimes. So yeah. Russell says, how many in PVA have said that's hard? How many in PVA, which is the Primal Video Accelerator program, have we heard so they can't be on camera? Same thing, just a different level. Yeah, I think that I can be trained into not needing the time away. I don't think I can be trained into not feeling it, because it is, I've been to counseling and stuff for it. It's something that I need to adjust to the emotions, to try and not let them overwhelm me. The emotions are still going to be there. Oh, right. It was in reference to Daryl dumping liquid into his audio interface. It let the magic smoker. Okay. All right. Yes, it did. And the sizzlings. The previous times. Oh, there you are. Back in the before times. So, yeah, it's interesting how different people deal with different stuff. It really is. Some people, what's a struggle for one person is a cakewalk for another person. And you know, what's something that somebody else, like my skill, which I for a long time thought it was everybody's skill until I met my husband, is I can follow instructions, right? So get the instructions to fix the dishwasher, I can fix the dishwasher. Get the instruction manual for the knitting machine, and I can pull it apart and build it back together, and you know, clean it all up and put it back together and have a functioning knitting machine. You know what I mean? Like, I can follow the instructions. So if I can find the instructions, I can follow them, right? And I thought that was, everybody could do that. My mum can do it, and I thought it was, I didn't think of it as a thing, and now I've since found out it's a superpower. Yeah, it is. It's actual instructions. What is that? Oh yeah. Oh, Russell says those are the very things you overcome in a good mastermind. Okay. I mean, admittedly, I was not comfortable live streaming for a long time, and now I'm very comfortable live streaming. So there are some things that you can get over, I suppose. But yeah, so following instructions or finding instructions, like the Google Foo is strong here. I'm very good at Google Foo. So these were things that I thought everybody could do, and I think that's something as well, as we are all different. Even those of us here in this chat, we are all different. We all have different strengths. We have different weaknesses. We have different kryptonite. You know, and having these things where, and like Russell's saying, you know, we can overcome some of this stuff. We really can. So, yeah, I think understanding and knowing what your weaknesses and strengths are is a really good place to start. I try not to lean into them, but I suppose I do sometimes. I mean, I lean into the fact that I prefer being not the CEO, by leaning in and getting some great work with some people that I would normally have not been, you know, brave enough to even send a DM to, let alone, hey, can I work with you? So I suppose it's some of the success stories in BBD start from much darker and difficult place. It helps hearing those. Yeah. I can see how that's good. I can. So for me, my journey didn't start from anywhere dark. You know what I mean? Like it just started from me going insane, and needing to do something. I went from being a workaholic to a stay-at-home mum, and then my daughter was going to school. So while she was at home, there was always stuff to do. But once she started going to school, I was just like, okay, I am literally going to go insane now. And because like I worked 3 jobs before I had my daughter. I had a 9 to 5, a 6 till 10, and a weekend job. I don't do well in downtime. And I've had to adjust to that. I've had to readjust that, thinking you can't do that forever. And you know, it's my journey started because I needed something to do. That's why I started Fiberific, was I was going insane and I needed something to do. So I was very lucky that mine didn't start from a place of necessity or anywhere dark or anything like that. Mine was about saving my brain. So, and that's sort of how all of this started, was just out of the need to do something. Do something. So yeah. Where did you guys start from? Let me know in the chat. Like what made you start? Oh, that fabulous. Oh yeah, I love this chair. This chair is so good. You guys have no idea how much I love this chair. Like seriously, like I'm seriously contemplating getting the footstool. Like getting the footrest thing. I haven't decided yet, but I'm seriously contemplating it. Yeah. Sarah says, I started because no one would hire the girl in the wheelchair. So I finally decided I'd make my own job instead. Okay. It's like no one will hire me, so I'll hire myself. I get that. I went, before I started my business, I tried getting a job and no one wanted to hire the person who wanted to work school hours. And because like, it was like, I could get a 9 till 3 job, but it was also 9 till 3 during all of the school holidays. Like it wasn't school hours as such. And that was stressful. That was annoying. I was so frustrated. But yeah, so that's why I started. Russell says, there's nothing wrong with just doing this for fun if that's what you want. But if you are questioning that for yourself, you already have the answer. Yep. Sarah says that I got a lot of interviews, but then I get really inappropriate questions, or even weirder. I had one of an accusation of resume fraud. Really? Oh my gosh. Why am I putting myself through jobs I don't really want? Yeah, that comes to that as well, doesn't it? It's just like, is this actually what I want to do with my time? Oh, I just don't pull on that muscle. I did a job yesterday, and my body's a little bit today like, yeah, you know, yesterday when you felt fine after doing that, not so much today. My daughter's car got bogged in our yard, and rather than wait so I could help her get it out, she tried to just get it out herself, right? And she's only got a small car. She's got a Nissan Micra, but it was bogged up to the hubcaps in really, really boggy mud, right? We had a lot of rain. She parked somewhere she shouldn't have in our yard. It's a spot that gets very wet, and we don't park there, at least not in wet season. And anyway, so yesterday at about 8:30 in the morning, might have been a little bit later, might have been 9 or something. My Sunday mornings aren't good because I don't go to bed till 4 a.m. So I was, you know, she's come in, she's like, I don't know how to get my car out. I've tried everything. And I'm like, I asked you to wait until today and I was going to come and help you. So basically I ended up, you know, putting a rock in front of the tire, getting her to roll up onto the rock a little bit so that I could get something behind her wheels, because she's front wheel drive, so she could get some traction. It was the front wheel that was bogged. Get some traction to get her out, right? But, you know, little car wasn't getting the traction, so I sort of had to push it out, right? So I just pushed this car out of the bog. It only needed to move a couple of meters. But she's just like sitting in the car, and I didn't realize it, but she was playing music in the car very quietly so she could hear it while she was recording me doing this. She was playing Eye of the Tiger. So yeah, that was fun. So my muscles today, like this particularly at the back of my, the pushing muscles, they're a bit tender. Chantelle did it for the band hammer power. Oh yeah, that's why I did it all. Absolutely. Geology Dude said, I was forced out of a teaching job, but I got a good buy package upon leaving, so I decided to use those dollars to try as an educational channel. Oh, there you go. I'm loving these stories. Russell says, I started YouTube because my book didn't sell well. My website got me nowhere. Facebook didn't work. And I really wanted to help those I wrote the book for. That's awesome, Russell. Because I knew there was a book. I didn't realize the book was before YouTube. So, yeah. Yeah. Doug, is there more to your statement there? But yeah, it's very interesting, the different reasons, and there's so many there's as many reasons why people start YouTube as there are to the different niches, right? Oh yeah, there was. Okay, so it's like a solid session with the whippersnipper. Yeah, I get it's different. It's different muscles that I hurt when I used the whippersnipper for a lot. But yeah, this one's been interesting. The line trimmer, yes. Yeah, it does make more sense once you add that extra word to the sentence. It really does. I'm sitting there looking at it like, Doug doesn't usually write stuff like this. Russell says, lol, I still don't sell a lot of the books, but I do help a lot of the folks with my channel. So that's good. That's good. Weed whacker. Yeah, you're getting them all in there. Brush cutter is different than a whippersnipper though, right? The brush cutter is a metal disc that can like basically take out trees. But line trimmers, weed whackers, yeah. Gosh, is that what you got up to on the weekend, Russell? Doug, you got out the whippersnipper and did the lawn. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and I suppose maybe what I'm looking for is an in-person what's Russell call it? Mastermind group. So, oh, that was your Sunday Arvo? Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. We've had a bit of rain. Our lawn here has gotten a bit chaotic and a bit out of control. Even though it got mowed 2 weeks ago, it looked like it hadn't been mowed in a month. It was just like, what? Warm weather, rain, the grass is just like, yay, I love this. But yeah, so I suppose, look, Russell, this is one of the issues that I have with mastermind groups. Are you ready for it? Everyone who joins a mastermind group wants to go in with people that know more than them to help them do better, right? But I feel like I'm the person coming into the mastermind group who wants the same thing, but there's no one there that I can help. And so, because they're all better. So, yeah. Sarah says, I get why the term mastermind is a bit weird though, because it has connotations of a level of formality and structure. It does to me. It really does. And I don't want that formality. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be relaxed and conversational and and not, formal, I suppose, is probably exactly what it is. I don't know. I think I need to sit down and read a book or two. I've no need for a weed whacker out here in the desert. I need a tractor to move the sand. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Geology Dude says I'm in 2 mastermind small groups. And like I absolutely think there's a place for masterminds. Don't get me wrong. But I think of mastermind as one thing and like Sarah's saying here, a chat over coffee is another thing. I think of them as 2 very different things. Sarah says, you're making me very glad I live in apartments. No mowing lawns, no having to shovel snow. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good perk. That's a pretty good perk. I think my husband actually asked if I would consider moving us into an apartment or townhouse down the track because he's a bit tired of the lawn maintenance. And I'm just like, no. I like the space between us and the neighbors. So yeah. And it's like, well, then you should mow the lawn. A geology dude says, in Seattle, there's so much rain that moss is everywhere. No need to cut the lawn if it's green with old growth moss. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh my gosh. All right, my friends, I'm going to bail. I really appreciate the chat. I thought that I was coming in here going to be talking about like this great idea. Turns out it's not. Fine. It's cool. I'll just stick with the digital groups that I already am a member of. So yeah. Ross saying, just be sure your group is from diverse backgrounds. You've already expressed a tiredness with just YouTube, by the way, if you want a really good description of what a good mastermind is. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I've got to read that book. But yeah, it's I think it's more of just the clarification of actually I thought that what I was describing was something that more people than me wanted, but it just turns out that it's not. So I was like, oh, okay. I thought this would be a thing that other people might want, but no, and that's cool. That's cool as well. So what about your moderating book? I'm still researching. I'm looking into stuff. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, considering I've not written a single page. Because I haven't decided if that's the way I want to go with it or not, whether or not I want to. I've got ideas floating around my head about what to do, all right? It's a yearning. It is. It's a thing. And I thought that other people would share it, but maybe not. So it's cool. It's all good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the catch up and the hangout and the chat, even if it ended up being different than what I hoped. And I will catch you all next week. Have an awesome one, and I'll see you all later. Bye now.